Good morning, y'all. I hope y'all are having a good day. So, I just learned this not too long ago about the UCC 1 308, and so I want to share it with y'all. Honestly, sticking a gum in my mouth, but I'm getting a little bit of cotton mouth. So, the UCC 1 308 is our legal protection against all unconstitutional demands of public officials and their agents. Alright, so let's see. It says, "Hi y'all. Any who are fed up with having their constitutional freedoms taken away and trampled on by our public officials and their agents may find this of interest. Found in the Uniform Commercial Codes, which I looked that up, which, by the way, regulate all financial transactions, which means nothing is done without being regulated by these codes. UCC 1 308 performance or acceptance under reservation of rights. 1. A party who, with explicit reservation of rights, performs or premises performance or assents to performance is a manner demanded or offered by the other party, does not thereby prejudice the rights reserved. Such words as without prejudice, under protest, or the like, or sufficient. And what this is saying, the number one, is saying anytime we are forced to sign a document without reading it, you can sign under protest or sign UCC 1 308 on it. The reason why you do that is because there's some words in there that you may not agree with. And we'll just keep on reading. Number 2, subsection 1 of this code section does not apply to an accord and satisfaction. Standard procedures for using UCC 1 308 contract law. When signing anything, turn it into a contract using UCC 1 308 and protect our constitutional rights of life, liberty, and property. Example of things to sign: driver's license, lease, buying a automobile, buying business equipment, contracting to do business, building permit, marriage license, code enforcement ticket. If we did not already agree to the terms, sign ordinance, etc. Do not sign anything without turning it into a legal contract. No individual by law shall be forced to sign any contract containing any part they are not in agreement with. Thus we may alter the contract to suit our needs and protect our constitutional rights of life, liberty, and property. Do this by following these instructions. Oh, whoops. Missed a page. Before we sign, we have the right to take a ruler or straight edge and draw a fine line through any letter, word, or group of words which we do not agree with. At this time, we may add anything we want in the contract. Any changes we have made, initial and date below each change. If the other party agrees and you both sign it, it is a done deal. Yet we should not sign this without writing UCC 1-308 or stamping it on and signing through this. The above is normal contract law based upon an offer and acceptance by two or more people. In the case of dealing with permits or code officials or other public officials, this must be done different. In this case, we have a demand by a public official upon our personal self and or our private property. They are not necessarily offering us a benefit, but trying to control us. In this case, we have the right to take a ruler or straight edge and draw a fine line through any letter, word, or group of words which we do not agree with. Initial and date below each of these corrections. For if we make additions the public official did not first tender in the demand, they then have to agree to these additions. This way, we are agreeing with only what is agreeable to us and has been presented to us by the public official. Thus, they cannot state they did not before agree to these parts we agree with. Then write or stamp across the form UCC 1-308 in red preferably, and add a 45-degree across the form in the lower right 1/4 section of the form in an open area of the form for readability. Then sign your signature across this stamp. Then along the edge of the lower half right side of the form, sign your signature and date it. Then we must either get the public official to timestamp this or sign it or get a notary public to stamp and sign and date the form. The notary has more power than the public official. In the case of permits and other codes, use the notary if the city clerk will not timestamp it. Get a copy to keep for your own records. If taken to court by the public official, we must file a copy of this contract with the court clerk and judge as evidence immediately as forehead of the court date as proof of the contract. This must be done to show the public officials have given up any rights they may have had if we had agreed with the original to us per the contract. Now, the only control they have over us is what we have agreed to. Again, this must be done before court date. If we fail to file this contract ahead of court date, then we may not use this as evidence in court, thus getting ourselves into trouble. If done correctly under most conditions, it shall never make it to court and never need to be filed with a court. Because any public official who violates a written contract may lose their corporate immunity and face having to pay all court costs themselves and be subject to criminal actions against themselves. This is per 42 USC 1983 violation. The below info, one should find something similar to this in each state's constitution laws. C. The state's defense of sovereign immunity is hereby waived as to any action ex contracto to for breach of any written contract now existing or hereafter entered into by the state or its departments and agencies. In other words, any public official who has made any unconstitutional demand upon a citizen by trying to force a ticket, etc., upon a citizen for some supposed code violation, this public official claims to have control over the citizen, and the citizen uses the UCC 1 308 to turn this ticket into a legal contract. Now, this public official may personally face all court costs personally without the state paying for this official to try to come against the citizen. See how many public officials are going to be willing to pay all court costs to come against you and face federal criminal charges themselves for trying to take away your constitutional freedoms. Learn to use the UCC 1 308 contract code to protect our constitutional rights of life, liberty, and property. Seek the truth and learn how to properly apply the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And that's all I have.